Good day everybody, it's time to start a new draft league and go over my new team. If you don't know what a draft league is, it's where players take turns drafting Pokemon to build a team, then battling each other weekly for a shot at playoffs where one coach will win it all. I've made it to the semifinals in the last 2 leagues I've played in, and haven't won a draft league in about a year, so I'm looking to take home the title in the Ultra Draft League Luxury Ball Division. I was 12th pick overall in the draft, which isn't the worst position, but it meant a lot of the top threats such as Dragapult and Iron Valiant were going to be taken. When it finally came around to me, there were still a lot of powerful threats on the board, and while I was originally going to take the grass starter Meowscarada, I ended up going with Darkrai instead. Darkrai has an incredible base speed of 125, allowing it to get the jump on most Pokemon and slamming them hard with stab Dark Pulses. Its wide move pool also contains coverage options such as Ice Beam, Sludge Bomb, Focus Blast, Setup in Nasty Plot and Calm Mind, and even Hypnosis to put a counter to sleep and chipping them down with its Bad Dreams ability. For my second pick, I wanted something that would complement Darkrai offensively as well as take some hits, and I ended up with a Pokemon that I've been wanting to use in draft for a while now. Iron Hand has an incredible stat distribution and a nice offensive typing that allows it to counter dark types and put a dent into bulky waters. Its stab, wild charges, and close combats coming off of a base 140 physical attack are nothing to scoff at. But with attacks such as Earthquake, Ice Punch, and Heavy Slam to deal with fairies, as well as access to Sword Stance and even Belly Drum, it poses a massive sweeping threat. With its Titanic bulk and Volt Switch, it can pivot into my other threats as well, such as Darkrai and my third pick of the draft, which was Garchomp. I was very surprised to see Garchomp still around at this point, and I didn't want to pass up on the opportunity to take it. Its great traits make it a natural fit for my team, giving me a Ground type, a Stealth Rock and Spike setter, a good Choice Scarfer, and a dangerous setup sweeper that can boost its speed with Scale Shot. While my first 3 picks were all strong and do work well with each other, they all share a common weakness in Fairy, so I wanted something that could switch into those hits as well as threaten them back, which is why I decided to go with Jirachi. Jirachi's base 100 stats across the board, wide move pool, and good typing make it a natural fit for the draft format, giving my team another Stealth Rock user, Recovery and Wish, and Momentum and U-Turn. Jirachi is no slouch offensively either, as it can sweep with Calm Mind or Cosmic Power, both of which boost its stored power. Of course, Jirachi is most famous and most despised for its Iron Head, which has a whopping 60% chance to flinch, so if I'm ever caught in a tight spot, it gives me a viable win con with Thunder Wave or a Choice Scarf. Next, I want to secure a good source of hazard removal. While it wasn't fully necessary at the time, as my team was very good in the face of Stealth Rock, it would allow me to pick up Rock Weak Mons later in the draft, as well as deny a good spinner from the other coaches, and Cyclizar was one of the best still remaining. Cyclizar's high speed and utility options in Rapid Spin, Knockoff, and U-Turn allow it to soften up my opponents for one of my sweepers, and while Shed-Tail is banned in this draft league, it does have the ability to Terrastalize. In this draft league, we are allowed 15 points to select up to 3 of our Pokemon worth 10 points or less, with some exceptions to Terrastalize. These Terra Captains can choose 3 Terra types, one of which must be from their original type. I went with Dragon for strong burst with Draco Meteor, Fairy to block attacks from opposing dragons, and Fire for boosted overheats and temper flares, as well as granting me a resistance to Fairy and Ice. Bulky waters are some of the best defensive pieces in the game, and my team had little in the way of pure bulk, but Alomomola fixes that. I've used Alomomola across many of my drafts in Generation 9 because it's one of the best defensive pivots in the game and is never super expensive, this time having only cost me 11 points. Purely by virtue of its access to Flip Turn with Regenerator, this becomes one of the hardest Pokemon to knock out in the game. Its high HP allows it to pass massive wishes to its teammates, and access to Scald ensures that it will be a huge thorn in the side of any physical attacker. I've also ran Assault Vest on it to quite a bit of success, making it tough to crack on the special side as well. My team has 2 main weaknesses at this point, Ground and Fairy, and Moltres can cover both in one slot. Its decent defensive typing along with access to Flame Body and Roost make it very unpleasant to attack with a contact move. It also gives me an offensive fire type with Flamethrowers and Fire Blast coming off of its massive 125 special attack and another pivot thanks to U-Turn. While Moltres is able to switch into ground moves, I still wanted something that could hit them hard, so my next pick was Alolan Ninetales. With access to Snow Warning plus Aurora Veil, it's a great enabler for my setup sweepers, and even has Baton Pass to swap directly into them. Ice and Fairy are incredible offensive types, and Alolan Ninetales can wield them well despite its mediocre base special attack, thanks to a fantastic speed tier of 109 and the unique coverage of Freeze Dry. My next pick is Drifblim, which is also my second Terra captain. Its high HP along with semi-reliable recovery and strength sap make it tough to take down, and once its Unburden ability is procced, it can snowball out of control. Terra only enables this further, with Terra Flying for boosted air slashes or acrobatics, Terra Fairy for a better defensive profile that also turns its dark weakness into a resistance, and Terra Grass to threaten ground types super effectively, and also because I did not pick up a grass type in this draft. My final pick was Hisui and Quillfish, giving me a grounded poison to absorb toxic spikes, another spike setter, a toxic spike setter, and a good defensive dark type between Eviolite and Intimidate. Its signature move Bar Barrage also gives it a way of threatening fairies with its 50% poison chance. And that's my team for the PUDL Luxury Ball division. Make sure you let me know what you think in the comments and check out the other coaches in the description. Week 1 battles will be going up next week, so be on the lookout for that.